So this is part 2 of the 880 investigations. I'm keen to crack on with this because I'm interested, find out exactly what's gone on. It's got a broken crank, then has something else caused the crank to stop instantly and break it, or is it a fatigue crack? Let's have a look. So the first thing to do would be to remove the exhaust. I've got to be careful of these spiky things here. Oh. Oh, that's tight. Right, better tools. Right, this is a T27. So that feels like it's a tight fit. I'm just a bit nervous about those felling dogs. Let's move around a bit. Nope. Okay, time to get a bit vicious. Okay, these bolts here, that seems like an aluminium exhaust. So I'm ignoring those because they're as tight as a tight thing. And I've just slackened off these ones. Let's see how we get on. Never had one of these apart before, so I'm not sure how the exhaust comes off. So I think that probably goes, does that go all the way through to there? So there's a clip there, and let's see what happens when we push that down. Right, there's a little forky arrangement there. There we go. Well that's different. Let's just investigate that. So that's an aluminium housing. There's that. And then these clamps, wedge type clamps, are clamped either side. And then this goes across there and forces those wedges in there. Interesting. And on this side here there's a removable baffle by the looks of it. You can get inside maybe to clean the exhaust out, maybe to clean the baffle. Anyway, that's that one done. We're busy learning things. Let's have a look down the port now. So there's the port, and let's just turn this over. And there are no score marks on the piston. and the rings look alright. Yeah, that looks alright. Okay, let's get the cylinder off. So the next thing to do would be just to get down there and undo the little screw that holds the gaiter clamp on. I suppose I ought to zoom in on that one and see if we can just so there it is down there. See that screw? That's the gaiter clamp screw. Got to undo that and then remove this bellows or gaiter or whatnot, which is the input from the carburetor. So having loosened that off, now we need to slacken off the cylinder base bolts. There we go. Try that way. God. And the last one. Okay, so let's just lift the cylinder. We're doing alright, we're in shot. Just ease that gaiter a bit more. There we go. Okay. Up we go. One cylinder and one bolt. And the cylinder looks fine. In fact, it's even got a few honing marks still on it. Clean as a whistle. Nothing wrong with that at all. And looking right in the bottom, I don't know whether we can see, but there are no marks of any bits flying around, no little chips in the top. So that looks really good. Right, interesting. Okay, initial inspection goes, that looks pretty good. But look at that score mark down there. A bit of something has come adrift. And even more interesting, there's a wedge of fuel in the bottom. It's absolutely full of it. I'm not sure what's going on, but something has got in there and made that score mark on the piston. But the rings are free enough. Let's just have a look at the top of the piston. There we are. That looks fine. A little mark there. Looks like there's a little mark there from potential debris. and there and there. So something has broken up, got through the engine. Luckily it's not really done that much damage, and it's not done damage to the bore. But I know what you're asking. What's the crank like? I really want to know. Well, let's have a look. Okay, so having removed the piston for better access, let's see if you can see this. There we go. Better screwdriver. Where's my screwdriver? Here we go. You see down here? It's just cracked across that web. And it's probably where the big end pin goes as well. So that's the weak point. So it was trying to run because the piston was still connected directly to the ignition through this side, but there wasn't enough support. So this side again, it's only supported by that bearing, but it's cracked there, and obviously it was just opening and closing and rattling around. So the crank's stuffed. Even though the big end is good, the piston's not bad, it's good enough. It'll want new main bearings, new seals, and a second-hand crank or a new crank. Anybody who's got a crank for an MS880, let me know. It really is I think it's actually made this main bearing on this side collapse. So there might be more problems, but that's the first one. And of course we can see it this side as well. So it's cracked around the crank pin housing. Wire brushed up the top of the piston, and you can see there something's just been rattling around. Just a little bit of something. Can we get any closer? Will it auto focus? Just about. And here's the cylinder. And it looks fine. Luckily there's not a single score in it, even though we had a little score on the side of the piston. I think maybe that little lump got in a port, damaged the piston but not the bore. So it's repairable if we can get a crank.